Well, hello there. Today I want to talk about Micro Four Thirds and why I still love Micro Four Thirds in 2024. Okay, so Micro Four Thirds in 2024 is a pretty niche topic. Don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure there's still a lot of people using Micro Four Thirds cameras, so is it actually dead? I don't think so, especially given the fact that Panasonic has recently announced and will be releasing the brand new GH7, super exciting. I don't think it's dead. And honestly, props to Panasonic for still supporting this line of cameras and keeping it alive. But the reality is a lot of people has jumped ship to full frame, given that full frame is so much cheaper to get into nowadays. In my collection of cameras, one that I use the most often isn't my full frame R6 Mark II or my Canon C200, which I use on jobs and shoots and stuff like that. But I don't use them most often because usually whenever I want to take a picture of something around the house, family, stuff like that, or travel, the one camera that I usually gravitate to nowadays is actually this one right here. This is the GX85 or the GX80 depending on where you live in the world. And I picked this camera up a few years back, and the reason why was because I was actually inspired by a few YouTubers. First of which was Tio Crawford. He is a photographer based out of Japan. He's a fantastic photographer, primarily uses this camera, and he's made a lot of videos with this camera. He basically makes videos where he takes the viewer on a photo walk through Japan, and he would take a bunch of street photos, and he would also commentate on his thought process behind his shots. Again, great photographers, and his videos are super relaxing, so I definitely recommend you check out his channel. The other person is Chris Bateson. He is a landscape photographer. He doesn't use this camera in particular, but he specializes in Micro Four Thirds cameras, primarily the ones from Olympus. And again, super relaxing and soothing videos where he just takes the viewers on his photo journeys on the beach where he takes most of his shots, and a lot of his photos comes out absolutely incredible. They are breathtaking photos, and it just made me realize and get inspired to go back to the Micro Four Thirds line, seeing how with a little bit of know-how, you can definitely get a lot of mileage out of this tiny little sensor. I think the biggest draw for me in Micro Four Thirds is definitely the size. If I was a camera manufacturer and I was to make a brand new Micro Four Thirds camera, I'll most likely make it for traveling photographers and probably even vloggers or content creators. A few months back, Panasonic released the S9. It is a full frame camera that's aimed for content creators and vloggers, and it's in around the same shape, size and weight as this GX85 right here. And along with that release, they also brought out the brand new 26mm pancake lens. It is small, it is light, and it's also fixed at f8. And when I say f8, I mean literally it is fixed, like it cannot move from f8. It is f8 and f8 only. You can't even stop down from that. That is how ridiculous, and that's how much they have to strip away from this lens to make it so pancake. And not to mention, it also doesn't even have autofocus. In the Micro Four Thirds lineup, you have this little guy right here. This is the 14mm f2.5. It is such a ridiculously small and lightweight pancake lens. I mean, this feels like nothing at all. It feels like a lens cap pretty much. And honestly, a lot of times I have this in my pocket and I forget that it's there because it's so light and it's so small. The funny thing though is that on a full frame equivalent, it is pretty comparable to that 26mm pancake lens Panasonic just released. But this lens is smaller, it is lighter, it can autofocus, and you can stop down from the f2.5. You can actually do some stuff with it. Well, I mean, you can do stuff with that too, but you can do more with this lens. It is actually a fully functioning lens, autofocus and all. And the cool thing is that there's also a lot of other lenses in the Micro Four Thirds lineup that are comparably as small and as light as this. Maybe not as small as this one, but it is also very small and very light. You can travel with it. It wouldn't be a burden taking it with you everywhere you go. And a lot of them are also pretty fast as well. In all honesty though, is the sensor size of Micro Four Thirds really a big deal? I don't think so. It's just a different system with its own set of pros and cons. Full frame has its pros and cons as well. And there's always a time and place for full frame cameras. There's also always a time and place for micro four thirds too. As I get older, I realize I really don't want to carry around a lot of weight when I travel, when I go out, when I go on trips, etc. I used to be ambitious. I used to always want to bring full frame cameras with me because I want to get the best possible image quality. But that is also at a sacrifice of carrying around a lot of weight. As I get older, I don't want to do any of that. I can carry my entire micro four thirds lens kit in this tiny little pouch right here. It's just a body pouch. It just goes around my body right here, and it carries my whole micro four thirds lens kit. That is incredible. But the sad reality is that micro four thirds is indeed less popular than it once was, and it is honestly on the brink of potentially being dead. So I feel like we should do whatever we can to support the micro four thirds system, because as I mentioned, there's always a time and a place for it, and it's always worth having around. If you're a micro four thirds fan, I'm pretty sure you'll agree with everything I'm saying, but if you're not, that's okay. Let me know why in the comments below. Anyways, that's my thoughts on micro four thirds. See you guys next time. Bye.